Wellington Rugby TV, Ross Bond, welcome back. I'm continuing to move around the offices of the Wellington Rugby Union or Rugby League Park or somewhere very close, and I've stopped at the desk of Rick Whatarau, the Academy Manager. Rick, kia ora, good afternoon.
Hi.
A lot of, I guess, misconception out there at the moment around the rugby world, about academies, what they are, what they do. What do they do?
Basically, the academies are a form of high performance for those kids leaving college, potentially most leaving college or still on the cusp of under 20 selection. And our opportunity here is to help guide the young fellas or ladies to the next level and try and support them with different pillars, the nutrition, mental skills, physical, technical, tactical, and just life skills, just trying to help them grow.
How many in the Wellington Rugby? So you're the Rugby Academy Manager. How many in your staff? If you sit around and have a staff meeting, are you talking to yourself or you got some mates?
Most times I don't talk to myself, but
I know the feeling.
Yeah. But hey, look, we've got a great crew up there. My role is just to administrate the whole process, and people like Joel Marshall, he's our head trainer and strength and conditioning trainer. We have support there from Miles Gainley, he's our physiotherapist. Also, we have an intern, trainer, which is Matt Higgins, and he's a big part of that operation with our Blackfern girls as well. And we also have another intern in terms of Todema, who's from the Petone Club, still playing rugby on the wing, but he's in his study and gets a bit of internship as well. Another key role with us is Ben Sigmund. He's our professional development manager, but he's our one, so that's the good thing about it. And then we've got providers like Natalie Hogg, who does our mental skills, and also Becky Jones, who does nutrition. How
do you get in there? So I'm in my last year at Rongotai College, St Patstown, Silverstream. Do I just ring up and go, hey, I think I'm pretty good, can I get in the academy or what?
Yeah, that's one way of doing it. I think the other way around it is my role is also as a New Zealand selector at under 18 level, and I work within the Hurricanes region. And we have a big talent ID group that go around and check out all the players going around the field and everything. We try and stay in touch with the coaches at each of the colleges and just keep an understanding of where the players are at and how we can support them going through. In terms of the process, we like to be a big part of that and try and identify kids who could potentially be a Wellington Lion. That's our goal for the academy. And also looking at how we can grow these people into those potential roles.
Let's talk about that. So the education side of it, you mentioned Siggy was doing some professional development stuff, etc., etc. How does that work? Is it purely rugby, so I just get in there and you're going to throw me in the gym and beef me up or trim me down in my case, or do whatever you're going to do with me, and then I go out and play footy on a Saturday, or what else happens? What else do you do?
Well, the big thing here is education's first. So your plan A is you're either full-time work or you're doing study or an apprenticeship. Really important part of it, because on the other side of the coin, if you go all in with the game and something goes wrong, you've got nothing to fall back on.
Well, your next game could be your last game, eh?
Exactly.
Yep. Do you sit them down, so that education side of it, so you pick up, I don't know, someone out of Rongotai College, you sit them down, do you actually work with them on what they want to do and how they get there? Or do you pick up when they're already there?
What we want to do is understand what the young fellow wants to do. They all want to be a pro player, which is exciting, but what about life? What's the big key for you? So we sit with the person and we'll look at options, whether it's going through the tertiary provider. Do you need to go to Welltech or Whatarau first before you get into an apprenticeship, or we just get stuck into the apprenticeship? Some of them want to, they might be a tight ass and want to be an accountant, so let's get them in there. So, some of them like money, so that's probably a good one we want to keep supporting. They come in handy too, those guys.
It's not only blokes, there's a women's element as well now. I mean, the women's game is sort of growing, and a fantastic effort yesterday on the Gold Coast for the Sevens team. There's now potential career paths there for girls coming out of college as well.
One of the big things we're trying to grow here is a Wellington's own academy, and at the moment we have 8 girls identified by New Zealand Blackferns and the Blackfern wider training group. And so we use our providers as well to help grow them as players. But we're also looking at the process of everything, how it's working, what's working well. obviously numbers on site. Sometimes we've got a lot of people in the gym and stuff like that. So we're trying to get that balance right so that we can have our own Wellington Women's Academy.
Nice.
And grow our group below the Pride.
What's the future of the academy? Where do you want to go? So if we said to you, in 3 or 4 years' time, we come from here, where do you want to be?
Well, ideally my goal is, for me, my honours board is seeing the degrees on the board. In accounting, it'd be good to have those ones, or full apprenticeships. And then we think if that's done right, the playing side's easy. But also we want to take it to a level where we're regularly producing New Zealand under 20 players, Black Ferns, the next level All Blacks and so on. But also our next Wellington Lions and Wellington Pride players.
Give us a couple of names in the Wellington region. New Zealand under 20s, it's a big part of the international program now.
Yep.
Wellingtonians, people out there, they head along to their club footy on a Saturday. Give us a couple of names to look out for.
So we've got 3 boys that have made the Oceania squad. So they travel next Saturday up to Auckland first, and then over to the Gold Coast. So Billy Proctor, he's one of our big players coming through. He's already currently a Wellington Lion. Another one is Carlos Price from Petone, so another Wellington Lion there. And the final one at the moment is Big Pussy Uluaila Kepa.
Good work. That's good, mate. I'm impressed. Petone prop.
Yep.
Is that him? Got him.
Yep. And we did have one who was ruled out with injury, Xavier Numia, who's right on the cusp and hopefully could be good to go for the World Cup.
Former St Pat's Town boy.
Yes, yeah.
So, and how far down do you drift? How far down do you go down to under 16 level?
Yep.
I suppose you're identifying talent ID the whole way through, eh?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Because, you can change. Sometimes we've had these kids come from under 13s, they're a big monster and everything like that, and all of a sudden they slim down, figure out life, and then they could be a winger instead of a prop, and vice versa. Some of us did go that way. But that's that sort of thing, and it's just knowing who our kids are. But we're not arrogant. We want to make sure we're not missing anyone either. We want to make sure we're capturing our kids and giving them a decent crack at it.
Nice. Left field question, and I haven't primed you up on this one. How many of the current Lions squad have come through the academy?
Well, we've got quite a few there actually. We're sitting around about, I think, 60% of that team at the moment has come through the academy.
Nice.
And obviously you get imports that come in, and that's a big part of the professional game. And then we've also had a few kick on to the Hurricanes as well. So, yeah.
Do you have to ring fence them? Hawke's Bay come knocking at the door, and Canterbury. And I know in the last few years there's been a huge number of Cantabrian boys been picked up and suddenly have ended up in Hawke's Bay in the Magpies colours. There was a whole lot of St Pat's Town boys got swept up to Hawke's Bay.
Yep.
You got to sort of ring fence them and put the barriers up and say go away, leave them alone.
I think we need to be honest with them. We don't want to bullshit them and just say, come on, you're the best thing since sliced bread. We've got to be honest with them and keep it real so that they feel like they can be a Wellington Lion. That's our goal. And the trends of professional footy is drawing people to other areas if opportunities are thin, especially if there's a few players in the same position. People might make their own decision, but I just think if we can stay honest with them and keep them on track for their career, it's about the player, hopefully.
Nice. Swindale Shield's rolling along, and you've been out and about having a look at it. I'm going to expect some pretty informed picks here.
Cool.
So, first one up, Avalon Petone.
Well, Avalon are trucking okay early on, and Petone, they would have been gutted with their loss on Saturday. Hopefully they can keep going with that one thing. I think Petone, but only just. I think Avalon have got one up them. I reckon they're real close to getting another upset.
Hutt Boys Marist cruising along, just picked up the McBain just on Saturday against Paraplim, who are having their moments. They're competing, they're in the games and going pretty well.
Yes, and they're hanging in there, and that's neat for the Parramatta crew. I think Hutt Boys should be too strong. God's on their side, so it could be a big help in that one.
We'll stay there because MSP, they've got him looking over them as well. They've got OBU. That's always an interesting early season clash between these two sides.
It's a cracker in it, and Marist are going well. They're just going by the wayside, not really noticed at the moment, and so a great challenge for them. I think OBU just on that roll at the moment. Could be a tough one there. I think OBU.
Righto, good on you. North's Tawa, this is a border clash, you might say. A lot of players have worn both colours, and there's normally a fair bit of banter between these two clubs. The North's boys tracking okay, Premier Reserve side's unbeaten, they're going real good.
Yeah. North's will be a real physical game, so I think just probably the execution's the key one. If they get it right, Tawa got a good win under the belt though over Avalon. Just needed those confidence. So I'll stir them all up. I think I'll go north in this one. That'll wind them up a bit.
Right, wind up Auries in Wellington. Which way are you going to wind up Mason in the office? Go on.
Yeah. Auries a surprise sort of heavy defeat to OBU. I thought they might have put up a bit more of a fight,
Yeah.
but that's how well OBU are trucking. The X-Men, if it's a 50-minute game, I think they'll win it. But unfortunately, it's 80 minutes, and it's shown. 8-all with North, and then they got pumped in the
Yeah.
end. But I think in this one, Auries should be just a bit too big.
Paniki Jabil and P getting home last week's first game in charge, a 50-pointer against the Axemen, against Johnsonville. This is always a tense little clash as well, this one.
Yeah, potential banana skin game too
Yep.
for Paniki. They're going well. Gee, they're just sneaking up around that top of the straight, eh? They're close to that finish line. They're keen to get in that
Never
Jubilee
discount a
Cup.
street kid, mate.
Yeah, exactly. The Villagers, though, good to see Kane still running around
Yep.
out there on Saturday. Heard he upset a few Maris boys on the weekend, but good on them. But I think here, Paniki just going too good for Jabil.
And the last one, the Rams, over the hill to Wainui.
Wow, it's a long way out to Upper Hutt, isn't it? So Wainui, good result on Saturday. Unlucky not to steal it. But that's a tough one, I think, going all that way. But I think Wainui should be too strong. But hey, Upper Hutt getting that first win might be the kick-off for them.
Rick, thanks, mate. Thank you for the work that you're doing. And I guess, as you say, the phone's always there, the office door's always open if you're a young rugby player out there and you want to ask some questions. Rick's the person to talk to if you want to understand where you can go after footy. As Rick said, he's got a whole army of people behind him that'll help you get there. Good luck with the rest of the year, mate.
No
You
worries.
and I will talk plenty, I'm sure, in the next few
Exactly.
weeks. Wellington Rugby TV. Another round of Swindale Shield rugby coming up this weekend. Some classic clashes here, some border battles. Enjoy the footy. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.